First off, before I get into this video does not have anything with me giving or lending any type of support to the organization that is Black Lives Matter. I'm just speaking on it from the standpoint of an individual who is so annoyed by the organization or by the group that is BLM that they took it to this extreme. But this story that I'm going to read from is coming from the Detroit Free Press, and it's about this optometrist, or he's a retired optometrist whose name is Kenneth Pilon. And I tried to find a picture of him, but I couldn't find one. But when I typed his name in, this picture did come up because it is attached to the article that I am reading. But anyway, he has such a disdain for BLM that he actually called 9, count them, 9 Starbucks stores and threatened BLM supporters. Now, I don't know what made him call Starbucks, of all places, but he did. That's who he called. Let's get into it. A retired optometrist from Saginaw has been charged with a federal hate crime for allegedly intimidating Black Lives Matter supporters in a series of actions involving nooses and threatening messages left for Starbucks employees across the state, the Department of Justice announced Wednesday. According to court documents, Kenneth Pilon, age 61, called 9 Starbucks stores across the state in 2020 and told the person who answered the phone to relay this message to any Starbucks employees wearing BLM t-shirts. The only good N-word is a dead N-word. Now, you got to question, like, what made this guy call Starbucks in particular? And it said across the state, which means he was calling more than just Starbucks around where he lives. He was calling them in various states, which means he was looking up Starbucks. He probably typed Starbucks into Google in the state of Michigan and just started dialing random ones. And then that's what he decided to do, as if that wasn't going to get back to him. Pilon also allegedly told one employee, "I'm going to go out and lynch me an N-word." Pilon allegedly left these messages 2 days after Starbucks announced that it would provide 250,000 BLM t-shirts. Okay, now we're getting to why he called. To their employees who wanted to wear them during their shifts. This was the summer of 2020 when the nation saw an outburst of protest condemning the May 2020 killing of George Floyd at the hand of a Minneapolis terrorist known as Derek Chauvin. According to court records, Pilon left these messages at Starbucks stores in Saginaw, Flint, Birch Run, Allen Park, Oak Park, and Ann Arbor on June 14, 2020, over the course of about an hour, starting at 4:39 p.m. and ending at 5:42 p.m., leaving his last message for baristas in Ann Arbor. Now, I've done a video about Ann Arbor, and actually, I think Ann Arbor was one of my Sundown series categories, and Ann Arbor is very, very much PC. So it didn't even matter if the person who was a BLM supporter was black or white. It's the fact that they were a BLM supporter, period. At that point, he probably, as they like to say, didn't see color. He saw that shirt and just became completely irate about it, to the point where he called a bunch of Starbucks threatening their workers. And I'm going to be honest, I don't even think he would have even done half the stuff he said he was going to do, but you have to be very cautious and take threats like that seriously, because you just don't know what people are going to do. 1 month after making those calls, court records show Pilon left nooses in Kroger and Walmart parking lots in Saginaw, including one he tucked inside a beverage cooler at a 7-Eleven store with a handwritten note attached that read, "An accessory to be worn with your BLM shirt. Happy protesting." Among those who found the nooses was Donald Simon, a 44-year-old black man from Saginaw who was in a biracial marriage. According to his wife, Simon was about to go out for a cup of coffee one morning and found the noose inside his truck with the handwritten note attached. The truck had been parked overnight in the driveway with the window slightly cracked, she said, noting that that's likely how the noose was slipped into the truck. It was like a numbness that this person hated us so much, Simon's wife, Regina, recalled in a Wednesday interview with the Free Press. Regina Simon, who was Mexican and white, said she knew the FBI had been investigating her case and believed that justice would eventually prevail. "I am relieved that this man is going to be held accountable," Regina Simon said. I'm shocked at all this man did. I didn't know anything about Starbucks or the previous nooses. Pilon is charged with 6 counts of interfering with federally protected activities, a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year in prison. Specifically, Pilon intimidated and attempted to intimidate citizens from participating lawfully in speech and peaceful assembly opposing the denial of black people's rights to enjoy police protection and services free from brutality. Pilon has also been charged by way of information, a charging document that bypasses the federal grand jury process and typically means that the defendant is cooperating with authorities and working on a plea deal of some sort. Pilon has not yet been arraigned and is not in custody. His attorney, Barry Wolf, was not readily available for comment. According to the charging document, they gave a timeline of his rants, and I'm not going to go through it because it's a pretty lengthy timeline, but it's just basically all the time, like when he called the different Starbucks and what he said at everyone that he called. But the call times was 4:39 p.m., 4:45 p.m., 4:46, 4:49, 4:59, 5:09, 5:22, 5:31, and 5:42. So he was like literally calling them almost like he had a script readily available of what he was going to say, hung up, and then continued to call other Starbucks. Now, I'm almost certain it was probably more than 9 Starbucks in his state, but he just probably got tired after calling 9 of them. On July 12, 2020, Pilon left another noose inside a truck in the driveway. This was the incident involving the Simon couple. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the part of the timeline. So he went from the calls to leaving the noose on July 12, 2020. And then it says he left another one on July 17th in a Walmart parking lot. He said that noose was also found by Simon as they exited the store and later held a BLM rally at their house. Unbeknownst to the Simons, however, Pilon allegedly had been dropping nooses across town all summer. His last one turning up in a Kroger parking lot the same day the one showed up at the Walmart. Like, this guy was literally on a mission. He making all these calls, and then he's going around dropping these notes and nooses all over the place. Now, what's crazy is I'm looking at the part where they're mentioning about, you know, he was charged with a federal hate crime. But when you look at some of the charges that he got, it's almost like they're hoping that the hate crime charge actually sticks, because everything else is more so of a misdemeanor. I truly believe that should be seen as a felony. This guy was calling Starbucks and leaving these messages as if he was going to kill black people or the black employees, leaving nooses in people's cars and notes and everything like that. That's why, like, when it comes to this word, like, I was having a discussion about this in a Twitter space, and we was talking about how a lot of these black students are literally retaliating against the PC students when they call them these slurs. And someone actually, you know, kind of opposed to what I was saying, and I was like, you know, people were saying, well, it's one thing, you know, when you say the word, but there could be action that comes behind that word. This guy was calling up Starbucks and like literally calling the black employees the N-word and threatening them and saying, oh, the only good N-word is a dead N-word. Then you got one, you know, saying that word while leaving nooses and notes in someone's cars. That's what you have to take that seriously. See, it's more than just a word. It's a lot of dark and negative energy that comes behind that word, especially when it comes from them. And you can clearly tell that based on what was read to you via the article that I just read. Now, the thing is, this guy is a former optometrist. What have we told y'all? They have given up the sheets and replaced them with doctors' coats, lab coats, briefcases, judge robes, most importantly, cop uniforms, firefighter attire. They're your CEOs, your executive board members, most likely run a movie studio. Like they're planted in different parts of, you know, different industries so they can blend in better with society. But the thing about it is, like this guy here, with him being an optometrist, even though he did what he did, you know, as an optometrist, he still cannot let go of his hatred for black people. And that's the thing. When it comes to people who have an innate hatred for black people, which is usually a weird one because it's like, where is it coming from? They will always find a way to let it slip. They'll try to hold on and hold back for as much as they can, but it's always something they're going to see that's going to trigger them, that's going to make them want to act. It literally leaps out in pieces to the point where it's getting ready to leap out completely altogether. And the point is, you're trying to put a lid on it before that actually happens. And this guy doing this right here, it starts as threats at one point, but then remember, he moved from the phone to now putting nooses in or around people's vehicles. So who knows where it could have gone after that? It could have went to him actually showing up to people's homes, and God knows what he would have did when he got there. And to black people out there, make sure you always have your power tools. And that's my take on it.